Hey guys, I'm Nikolai, and this is the first episode of Road to Prop Firm Trading. It's just going to be basically me documenting my journey towards becoming a consistently profitable trader and eventually becoming a funded trader at the various prop firms such as FTMO, The Fivers, My Funding Talent, City Traders Imperium, like any one of those prop firms. That's just going to be me being consistently profitable and then eventually taking an evaluation and then becoming funded. And this is going to be the journey to start it off. Okay, what I'm basically doing is practicing being consistently profitable. And for week one, we had three trades. The first trade was GBP USD, which is being displayed right now. And I'll hop into the charts to show you how I entered this trade. Okay, I utilize TradingViews for my analysis and enter with CTrader. So what I like to do is look at the prior week's price action. So we could have like seen that GBP USD was making like higher highs and higher lows, and then we got a lower high and a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and that was coming into this week. But if we look at the prior week to that, we could saw there was a strong move down, and this week was just like a retracement, and the trend was looking like it's continuing. So coming into the new week, I was looking to continue that movement. So the first thing I would do is pick out my areas of interest after I determine which direction I want to follow. And the previous like lower high would be one of them, then the previous lower low would be another one. So basically what I would be looking for is either push up into the previous lower high and some form of like sign that's showing it's going to reverse, or move down from the lower low and then come back to retest. So I enter my trades in the 15-minute time frame and I trade London. So I also coded an indicator which gives me alerts, which is basically like it shows me when the market's pulling back. And if the alert like comes into the zone that I like, I usually take the trades. I coded my algo, it's the yellow dots right here. So we're at the start of London. I already performed my analysis. So this was what it would have looked like when I took the trade. So I'd either be looking for the move down or the move up into the zone I had marked out. And it moved up into my zone. So I was just looking for one of my algorithm dots to appear. And I got it. So the next step I would have taken is setting a sell stop like just a little way down from it, and I got 2 to 1 on this trade for the like return on investment. Yeah, I was just targeting like the previous low it had made, and then it just like dropped in and took me into the trade, and then it just played around a bit, and eventually it just took me out. So I got a nice 2 to 1 on that trade, and I was like really happy with it because everything kind of just played out how I expected it. And on to the next trade. Okay, our next trade was on Euro GBP, this trade right here. So let's hop into that. Okay, looking at the week's previous price action, we saw that we had a like a kind of extension retracement. Then we got like kind of like a trend pattern was forming, like if it was moving to the downside. But then we got a nice move up to break the previous high, and then we got a lower high and an extension up, which again shows like this pattern that was moving downwards is now changing, it's moving upwards. So coming into this week, we would have a bias to go long on it. So we would be looking at two areas of interest again, the previous, well, the new higher high and then the new lower high. That's like the two areas we would be looking at. So coming into what I would have been seeing coming into London was this setup here. So again, would have been relying on my algo at one of the key like areas to give me an entry. So again, it came in a nice touch, nice wick, and then we got the signal. So I then put again a long order in for it to take me in. And when I was taking targets, I noticed that this 86 area right here showed that it was holding up and it wasn't breaking because it touched it like 4 times right there. So that was my target right there, and my stops were think I think I got a 1.5 on this, a 1.5 R, like return on investment on this. Usually I try to go for 2 to 1, but this was a nice setup, so I ended up putting in the order, and then it took me in. I'll just let it play out. Took me in. Looked like it was going down. The level that I entered was holding pretty nice. So then it shut right up, played around again, and then it just like went and eventually took me out. Right on this candle right here, I think was like, yeah, it was a bit lower, like right here. It was like around 19 pips I actually got, but this was basically the setup on the Euro GBP. Our last trade was Euro JPY. This was like the best trade of the week. I think we got a 3.2 R on this trade. It flowed nice. We had to manually close it because I'll explain in the analysis why, but it was a really nice trade. Okay, Euro JPY analysis. So basically, the previous week we saw strong movement away from the 130 level, and then we got that like uptrend pattern with the higher highs and higher lows, but then it like failed to give us a higher high or higher low. Then it started consolidating like to the end of the week, and then coming into the new week we got a break of that consolidation area, then a retest. I didn't take the retest because I usually uh, take a more conservative approach in like confirming that it's an actual break and the trend is changing. So I was waiting for like a second opportunity on the trend downwards. So it moved lower, giving us a lower low and a lower high, and then a lower low. So I was waiting for opportunity to get into the lower high. So now we have to pick our areas of interest. First, like we know we have a bunch of room to like the downside, but I don't think there's a low probability, in my opinion, of price coming all the way back down here because of the strong movement it had away from the level. So like one of the first targets I was looking at was this area right here, like one of the lows, because that would be another like area of interest to me. And then for entries, I was looking at, well, you can look at a host of entries according to how the pattern's forming. You could have looked at the lower low to enter right here, or the support to resistance, or supply to demand, however you would like to term it. Or you could have looked at the retest, as long as it doesn't make any more trend patterns to show it's like trending back up. So hopping down onto my entry time frame, I would have had alerts set on my algorithm. So basically I was just looking for significant pullback and for one of my dots to come in. So that's basically what I was looking for. And then we got a signal. I was interested, and my target was going to be nice. We had a nice significant pullback, and then I set an order. I think I just put it just like below this, and I had my stops above here. I think my stop was above here because it was like 3 to 1 or something like that. Yeah, it was like I think it was like 3.5 or 3.2, but I'll check it after. So that's how my order was set, and then basically price just took me in, and I was just waiting. You see, and it actually looked just like this. Because remember, I said I had to manually close it because I was paying attention to this. Like when I saw like this form, this basically shows that price does not want to be in this area based on how it like wicked. So I have to move the order up. I just moved it up because I knew like, well, I can't say I knew because you can't predict the future, but there's a high probability that price is not gonna come back down there. So I just like moved the take profit up. Uh, so basically, I think I'll just let it play it through because I was just gonna decide on how price action was moving into the next day on whether I was gonna close it all or not. So I just like moved the take profit up to where I think would have took me out, and I was just waiting for the next session to come in to decide on how I was going to manage the trade. So it's extended out. So it came back down, and then yeah, it took me out right there. And well, it was like a three. I think it was like a 3.2 or 3.5 hour on the trade. A really nice trade right there. This was like our trade of the week. Like the algorithm I coded is really coming in. Like I would say clutch for me, but like I could also trade manual off of these zones like with engulfing candles, but I prefer like using my algorithm right now. Okay guys, that's week 1 of trading. We finished with a nice 6.8 R. A really good start to my journey. Hopefully we can continue this momentum. If you have any recommendations or comments, make sure to leave it in the comments. But thanks for making it through, and let's hope we can continue this next week.